Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 411 Sports World show. I'm Mr. 411, and as you can see, the Lacey and the calculator with me. And is everyone ready for some football?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But I hope you're ready for some baseball tonight. Go Yankees! Yeah!
No, oh, no.
Oh
You know I
no!
couldn't help it.
All right, where everybody? Hold on, because here we go with the show.
Hello, everyone. Lacey,
Yeah.
seeing you have your baseball gear, even though
I
it's
got my Yankees gear on. Go New York! Come on, Bronx! Let's go
Oh,
Yankees!
it's like,
all right. I
That's
think she's
tonight.
into. I think
oh
she,
man,
yeah,
she's fired up 411.
I am.
man. See what happens when the Giants win a game and the Jets win
Yeah.
a game. See what
Oh
happens.
my
Jets
gosh.
won. The
Oh my
Giants won.
gosh.
It's a great week,
Oh my goodness.
except for what
That's
happened in Houston. I don't want to talk about it.
No, we
yeah,
won't talk about that.
yeah.
Not today.
We'll pass over that for now.
Uh,
But today is October the 5th, 2021. You are in the 411 Sports World Show, Fantasy Football Edition. And don't be surprised when we come out with our new name in the coming
Uh-oh.
future. But to my left is Lacey Dawson. How are you doing, Lacey?
Ciao. Doing great.
And it's all right, all right. I know you are. You having a new seems like. And down below, right there, everyone, is the one and only calculator. What's happening, calculator?
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411, and everybody out there.
Yes.
It's wonderful to be with you all today.
All right, excellent. Well, it was an excellent quarter of the season at this point. So we are at
Yeah.
the quarter mark. So things are starting to take shape in reality, but also in the fantasy world. So we will get started here. We'll talk about the news and notes. Calculator, have at it. News and notes, sir.
Just not well. The main news is the injuries that happened. With that the main and that this will be part of the waivers that we're going to talk about. The injuries affect waivers. So if you look at the very big injury that you know that caught everybody's attention was David Montgomery. I keep checking my phone. You might see on this broadcast because I'm continually getting updates on on that injury. The latest update I did see though it's a more of like a knee sprain, no torn ACL, a slight he did hyperextend it, causing the sprain. They say that's looking at 4 to 5 weeks. However, things coming out of we'll say the people on the street is saying that
Okay.
it could be until after their bye week. And if I'm trying to check their bye week real quick, it looks like they have a bye. Well, Chicago has a bye week in week 10. So if he's going to miss week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8. They might not put him out there against the Steelers in week 9, and then the bye is week 10. So you can look at 6 weeks. I would not look at getting David Montgomery anytime before week 11.
Mm.
Another thing,
Wow.
it could be in theory they could be out of the playoff race by then. So if there's nothing to play for, and he's still feeling discomfort, we don't know. He might just take the rest of the weeks off. Again, that's just that's all theory. But what we do know is it's 4 to 5 weeks. After the 5th week is a bye week, so even if you're on the long end of it, you're looking at David Montgomery until week 11, out until week 11.
Cool. Ouch.
Yes. And the next biggest one is Joe Mixon. Now, this one, Joe Mixon comes with a lot of
Yes.
trepidation
Yeah.
because if you remember last year, he was week to week, and we never saw him the rest of the year. Like after week 3, he's week to week, and then he's out the rest of the year. So I was like, okay, and so guess what? They say it's a low ankle sprain. And they said, okay, low ankle sprain, that's good. What's his status? Week to week. It's like, oh my God, don't want to hear week to week. So he's definitely already pretty much out this week. Low ankle sprains are usually 2 to 4 weeks. However, Joe Mixon, Cincinnati Bengals in general, although I will say last year, Joe Burrow got hurt. They were out of the playoffs relatively early, so they could say, hey, Joe Mixon, take the rest of the year off. We really don't need you. We want you to be fully healthy coming back. Looks like Cincinnati's going to be good this year. He definitely helps them out in their thing, in what they do on offense. And but again, week to week, what they say, what's the difference between day to day and week to week? Well, week to week is 7 times worse than day to day, so take that for what it's worth. Week to week is not good, but again, low ankle sprains, usually you can come back from a low ankle sprain in 2 to 4 weeks rather than a high ankle sprain. Because if you got high ankle sprain, you go on the IR for at least 3 weeks. Or in David Montgomery's, David Montgomery will be going to IR shortly, because we know his status is over 3 weeks. But yeah, if they're not going to put Mixon on the IR, I feel confident that he will be back after the 2-week period. So monitor that. Like I said, he's already been pretty much ruled out this week, and just monitor to see what happens. If he avoids the IR, we're looking at the 2-week scenario.
Okay.
Yes, sir. All right.
That's all I got right now. Those are the most pressing ones I wanted to get out to people because that's all the news I got. Like I said, I'm continuing to look at my phone. If some news pops up on my phone, I will definitely share it to our audience as we go.
All right. Appreciate that, calculator. And of course, as you all know, it has a ripple effect, and I think you hinted at that a few moments ago. And when you have injuries, you have to make decisions, right? So you have to decide whether you're going to hit that waiver wire or not, and also your lineup. So keep all that kind of stuff in mind, and we're definitely going to touch on the waiver wire shortly. But prior to that, we're going to talk about some performances for the weekend, the studs and the duds. So who do we have for some studs today? From the weekend.
Barkley,
that's why I was just gonna wait for Lacey to get that out before I even said anything.
She couldn't wait to get that one out.
She's been waiting.
I've been waiting so long, and in one of my leagues, it wasn't enough. That's the way it goes. I was playing the guy that had Tyreek, so
yeah,
can't do anything about that.
Correct.
But I was glad to see him show up when he did.
Yeah, and speaking of Tyreek, she just said it. Tyreek Hill, what a game!
Wow.
He kind of mirrored what he did in week 1. He hit it. It's crazy. He's either a stud or a dud. He's either going to get it, or like in week 2 and week 3, he's a dud. But he showed you in week 1 and this past week, you put him in the lineup no matter matchup, no matter what, because in any given game, he could go off for just 40 points and just win you the week by himself, which, as Lacey found out in one league, that's what happened.
One of the few times that Kelsey was the dud.
Yeah. And that's what was odd, Mahomes still had 5 touchdowns, but I mean, 3 of them went to, 3 went to Tyreek. I thought he would have given some love to Kelsey, but he was doing the underhanded passes to the running backs and stuff like that, trying to be original. So yeah, it's odd. So and it's not like they were showing replays. Kelsey was open on a lot of plays. He just wasn't as open as Tyreek Hill was
I guess not.
on a lot of those plays. And I still don't know what Philadelphia was doing, because they were talking about they like to play that 2 deep zone. Apparently they weren't playing deep enough because Tyreek was getting behind it time and time again. So I don't know what defensive scheme Philadelphia thought was going to work, but whatever they did, it didn't work. But yeah, Tyreek Hill. And I also want to go to a league I'm in with Lacey, who does have Saquon Barkley in another league. She had her other big name running back in Zeke doing his thing again.
I love that.
And he was showing no mercy. And if you look
No.
at Ezekiel Elliott, his yards per carry have gone up ever
Yeah.
since week 1. So
Yeah.
he's not only is he producing, he's
Yeah.
producing at a high level, and
Yeah.
he don't have to play Tampa Bay again this year, so we don't have to worry about the tough matchup like that. I think he was just taking a couple weeks off and then say, okay, now it's time to feed me. And now that they're doing their thing, although it's good, but it could have a negative effect on
Right.
some of those other Cowboys that we'll talk about in the dud section.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I got
And
you.
the thing about Zeke, there was a lot of split carries with Pollard, throughout the season.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing for Elliott owners to see that Zeke is really broken out
Yes,
here
keeping it
because
fresh. Yeah.
yeah, and it might be the best of both worlds here. Save a
be.
couple of carries, keep them fresh throughout the entire season, and still put up quality first round numbers. So that's very good. You had something there, Lacey?
No, it was you were we were talking about Zeke, and he's been wonderful, and but again you had to kind of like wait it out. It was just it's kind of like with Saquon. It's like they got off to a really slow start, and people started making noises about they're a bust, but you gotta be patient.
Yeah.
Long season.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I mean, a lot of our consensus ranking when we had Zeke at number 3 this year.
Yeah.
We really liked the situation he was in. We liked that he was going to be healthy. We liked that the offensive line was going to be healthy, and we liked that. Hey, a lot of shootouts produce a lot of points.
Absolutely.
So that and a big recipient of those points is showing that Ezekiel Elliott is the recipient of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
loving it.
How about Cordell Patterson? I mean,
oh my goodness,
30. He had six rushing attempts for 34 yards, but 6 targets and 82 yards receiving, and then the obviously the cherry on the top is 3 touchdowns. So the Swiss Army knife is really getting it done.
Yeah, but people we gotta buyer beware there on people. If people are floating him out there for different things, his target share is pointing to a touchdown regression to the mean, meaning if his target share stays the same, it's very hard to produce 20% target share producing multiple touchdowns. That's just a statistical evidence there. And if his target share went up, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. But the target share is what worries me because we're seeing what happened to Rondale Moore. Remember early on, he was getting all the touchdowns, but we told people before you're going to pick up Rondale Moore, if his target share don't change, you're going to have a touchdown regression to the mean. And look at what happened 2 weeks in a row, touchdown regression to the mean. So even though Cordell Patterson is wonderful, people got to worry about that. Now, I'm a Cordell Patterson owner in one of my leagues, as Mr. 401 knows, because I sat him on my bench when I went up against Mr. 401 this weekend, and it cost me, But I went with target share, and however, I think I might wind up starting him in my running back selection because in that league, although the good thing is my running backs are starting to come back in that league. Daryl Henderson's coming back. Jacobs showed that he's back. So, Cordell Patterson still might not make my starting lineup just because I look at the underlying numbers and saying, okay, I do expect the regression to come.
Yeah. But the beauty of having Cordell on your team calculator is if you have any kind of issue at receiver, you can slide him in there.
Yeah.
If you need to.
The dual eligibility and for running back star teams. He's one of those guys.
I thought he was a wide receiver. I can't figure out what's going on.
He was, but in Mr. 401's league, he has some pull with Yahoo and said, hey, in our league, can you put him just like he did with Jawan Johnson? Jawan Johnson was a wide receiver. 411 drafts him, and all of a sudden he gets tight end eligible. It's like,
I picked him up, and I couldn't start him because I thought he was a tight end, and he said wide receiver. I'm like, what?
Yeah. You got to get in Mr. 401's league, man.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll be having the people that are quarterback, wide receiver, and running back eligible. Don't pick those people up.
That's good.
You gotta roll. You gotta roll with me, baby. We'll get that extra position in there for you.
Yeah.
So
any player. I want to talk about a running back who nobody's talking about, but is off to a very, very is really a bust at this point, and nobody's even talking about
Okay.
this guy. What is going on in Philly with Miles Sanders?
Oh, it's.
What?
Oh wow.
I think you know how we talked about early on in the season. We talked about game script proof.
Right.
Miles Sanders is not game script proof. Miles
No.
Sanders has showed a propensity to drop balls and not be very, even though he was good coming out of college, which is odd. As soon as he comes into
Yeah.
the pros, he forgets how to catch. He's not known for his pass blocking ability as well. So if they're behind, they're going to put Gainwell in there. He's a pass catching specialist. He's good at blitz
Right.
pickups. Although, if you think about it, they're not really worried about the blitz because they're running so many pass plays. They're moving Gainwell outside for wheel routes and whatnot. So, yeah, Miles Sanders is showing that when they get in a shootout,
Right.
it kind of phases him out of the game. However, this week I like Miles Sanders this week. I think Philly's going to keep it close to Carolina. I don't see Carolina pulling away. But last two opponents, Philly just couldn't keep up with Dallas and the Chiefs.
Right.
But I don't see Carolina getting out to a big lead. So I think Miles Sanders is going to be utilized more
I
in
certainly
the
hope so.
games where Philadelphia plays close.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying when I look at his numbers through 4 weeks, it's like he's a bust, and nobody's even talking about him.
So
So,
yeah, and I think this is a patient. You got it because I'm telling you, he's going to do well in the two games they play against the Giants because Giants aren't going to blow him out. He's going to do well against Washington. The two games they play Washington because that's going to be any games that Philadelphia is going to play. That's when Miles Sanders is going to do you right. But you're right. You don't hear much about it
no,
because, and I don't know why.
yeah,
Maybe people don't know why, but I can tell you right now, if you look at the games where they get blown out, that's when because look at what he did in week 1 against Atlanta. He
he
was
had a
great,
good
Yeah.
game,
He
and
So,
was
that was
so
it.
fantastic.
yeah, yeah. Well, and also we got to look at the offensive line. I think that if I'm not mistaken, that game against the Chiefs, they had one offensive lineman that was in their starting lineup from week 1. So game script,
That's pretty
injuries on the
bad.
offensive line, I think that has actually an underperformance from the new offensive linemen that they put in there are really bad too. So yeah, I think a lot of stuff has gone against Miles Sanders, but I
Okay,
think things are going to be on the way up for those Miles
okay,
Sanders owners. In
sounds
other
good.
words,
All right.
don't try and trade him because I wouldn't trade because you're not going to get what I think he's worth. They're
Right.
going to trade you at his low value.
Well,
you know.
I'm just kicking myself for the week 1 poor decision just before game time to drop Kenneth. What's his name, Gainwell or something?
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
said,
Well, like I
this
said,
guy's not even gonna
like
get
I
on the
said,
field.
Lacey, that might work
This
out to your favor in these next few games. So
We'll see. I hope
yeah.
so.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we will see how all that pan out. And real quick, but going back to the Cordell Patterson uh, discussion, what about Mike Davis? How does he fall into this? What would you all suggest to fantasy owners about Mike Davis? Because he's the starting back, right?
Yeah,
He
but I
is.
mean, but you're getting. He's not. This isn't a guy you spent. Well, I hope we were telling people not to spend a top 3 draft pick on Mike Davis.
Right.
Hopefully, this is a guy that is either a backup running back on your roster or a guy that every now and then you put in. He's still getting the most carries in the backfield. He still has the majority of target share when it
Right.
comes
Hmm.
to snap count and so forth. So he's still getting. It's just that offensive line for Atlanta is really poor. And again,
He's not getting the touchdowns.
yeah, and all those touchdowns are going to Cordell Patterson.
Right.
you know, so if you look at again, I'm going to talk about target share and snap share a lot on our podcast because
Okay.
that's what you got to look at. I think as long as he keeps that target share, keep the snap share, keep his high snap count, I think he'll have actually a touchdown regression. Positive regression
Okay.
touchdowns because he's going to get the work.
All right.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Target share and snap shares. Keep that in
Yes.
mind, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. Any more studs and duds you want to discuss?
Well, one
Um,
more. I heard an awesome name for a guy on another podcast. They called him Dawson Knox for the Bills.
Nah.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. I mean, it's looking like if you want part of that Buffalo offense and whatever. I mean, because the weather was not great, so Josh Allen said, "I'm not going to throw long. I'll throw short." And Dawson Knox was the beneficiary of a lot of those. So
For
if
sure.
and
Yeah.
we know how that tight end uh, pool can be low, barren sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This might be a guy that you might want to take a ride with and see what happens.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Okay.
So
All right. Well,
yeah.
after studs and duds, that leads to making decisions, and that
Yeah.
means maybe there was some studs on the waiver wire, and maybe there are some duds that you want to send packing. So, in our waiver wire segment, I like to throw a name out there just to get the conversation started, and that's
Okay.
the
Okay.
quarterback out of Carolina, Sam Darnold. What do you all think about him? And he's out there in many waiver wires.
Not in any leagues I'm in.
Well, I mean,
He's kind of floating around the league I'm in
well,
particular.
and the thing is, Mister 411, he got away from the Adam Gase curse over in the
Okay.
Jets.
Right.
So I think that he's actually showing that he does have potential. But again, one thing that's propping up his stats, Mister 411, is rushing touchdowns. I he has 6 rushing touchdowns so far.
Right.
That's more than a career high he's had for a year.
Yeah.
And I think he's able to do that. Well, first of all, McCaffrey went there this past week, so he took 2 of those himself.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think that's going to continue as well. Look, he has a nice, soft, comfy, so to speak, early schedule, and it's paid off. I don't see that continuing. He's got great receivers. Now, if you're a Tannehill owner, that is somebody I wouldn't mind, starting Darnold ahead of. However, I actually still like Daniel Jones ahead
Mm,
of Sam Darnold, just because although the one time I did pick up Daniel Jones, I actually have him back up in the league, and I started him last week, and that was the week he didn't have any touchdowns. He still had some rushing yards. However, he still is he's a guy that's going to run more than Sam Darnold will if you take a whole season into account.
Right.
So, but hey, Darnold's been great. I'll give him credit. He's
Yeah.
shown what he can do. He's got weapons. I just don't think he's going to keep up at the pace he's currently going.
okay. How about Trey
Fair enough.
Lance?
Hmm.
Trey Lance in San Francisco. It seems like it's a possibility that he may start next week, depending on the severity of the injury of Garoppolo. And
Every
Lance,
word I've heard
he
is he is starting. I
Yeah, that's
didn't,
what I heard
and
too.
and I apologize for not telling our listeners about the calf strain for Garoppolo. You're looking at a 2 week injury for him as well. And
okay.
the thing is, with Trey Lance, it's one of those things. Is if he does great, he'll probably get the job from here on out. If he doesn't, they say, okay, Garoppolo, you go in there because we know you can win us games and stuff like that.
Right.
Trey Lance is very raw. He's a one read type quarterback. So that's going to affect a lot of play calling. And I think what's going to actually happen is he's a gifted runner. So again, he's going to have one of those quarterbacks that we feel are high floor guys. They're going to get a lot of points for your rushing, and then everything he
Right.
gets throwing
It's a
is good.
fun.
And hey, Debo is proven to be a great target. We skipped him over on the stud part, unfortunately, but he can run a simple out pattern, and then he breaks 9 tackles and run for touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's a beast when he catches the ball, and I think that's going to help Trey Lance. Trey Lance only had, I say, only 20 points at the quarterback position, but he did it in a half. So I
Yes.
think I think he's a perfect guy to pick up and wait and see if you have spots on your
Right.
bench,
Hmm.
because he could be in that Shanahan offense. Quarterbacks thrive in the way the play calling, just the scheme that they run, and if he gets all that stuff rushing, when that one read isn't there, he takes off. That's actually to your benefit if you're a fantasy owner because you love rushing yards. So he's definitely a guy that I wouldn't mind test driving. Again, I'm gonna hit on the Tannehill owners. That might be a guy that you want to pick up and see what happens until Tannehill gets Julio back and gets AJ Brown back. So it's one of those things that if you're in trouble right now, that might be a guy you want to take a chance on. I
All
like Trey
right.
Lance.
Yeah, I think the upside is there, and
Hmm.
they're just waiting for that reason to get him in. So
Yeah,
they might even go ahead and urge Garoppolo to just let that
Take your
let
time.
it heal up a little bit more.
yeah.
Take your
Well,
time,
well, that's why we're going to see Trey Lance. We know the Arizona Cardinals this week. We know they have a great pass rush. So now we get to see how good a guy that can run can hold up to a good pass rush. Because I guarantee you, if San Francisco wins against Arizona, against the
Ooh.
only undefeated team in the NFL right now, I think that'll give them a reason to say, "Whoa, we Garoppolo, his injury is going to go from like a grade 1 to a grade 2."
Great.
Like we misread the X-ray, to begin with. He's going to have to be out a couple more weeks, and then see what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. And across the bottom, you will see some more names that we need to discuss as well, or just hit some marks on. For example, like Latavius Murray, Curtis
Mhm.
Samuel. I mean, what do you think about
Mhm.
these players?
Well, Latavius Murray looks like he's got the lead back now in Baltimore. It was surprising that the Taysom Williams was actually a healthy scratch,
Yeah.
which was kind of
Man, that was
baffling.
disappointing.
Yeah,
Very disappointing.
yeah. I mean,
You
he
wasted
showed
money picking
promise.
him up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so but it looks like Latavius Murray is going to get the work. But a guy that's not on the list, Mister For One, I want to bring up because
Okay.
I'm in 9 leagues, and in 6 of them, this guy was available. Damian Williams. Remember, I talked about the
Chicago. Yes.
injury.
Okay.
The injury. He's actually my number one pickup this week. He's a running back. He's on a run first team in the Chicago Bears. And yeah, there is a Q by his name for questionable. He has a hurt hand, I believe. But for everything I read is that he's going to be good to go, and they need him. And with Montgomery being out at least 4 to 5 weeks, hey, that's a longer starting time frame than we had with Chuba Hubbard last week. So Damian Williams is actually my top guy, and then I'm going to go even to another guy below that because I like running backs, Mister 41. I like running backs. So when I saw
Yes, you do.
Joe Mixon go out, I said, hey, it may be 2 weeks, but P Ryan. Joe Mixon. Nobody knew who this guy
You
was
love
because
P. Ryan.
nobody knew P Ryan's backup in Cincinnati. But if he just gets 60%, okay, we'll look at it like this way. Uh, Joe Mixon got 80, I believe his snap share was 82% of all plays. What was crazy, he got hurt and they actually reduced his snap count in the Thursday night game because it was a short window. So late in the fourth quarter, he gets hurt. So it's crazy. On less snaps, he gets hurt. But anyways, P. Ryan, if he just gets 60% of the snap share, which I think he will, because I think Cincinnati, Chris Evans is actually their pass back in Cincinnati, but I think P. Ryan, again, he's going to be the first and second down back. So if he can get 60% as a snap share in the Cincinnati backfield, I think that's value right there for people that need running backs. He can get you over the hump for the next 2. And hey, like I said, it may be longer. We never know week to week what that is. But hey, we know he's good this week, and he was somewhat decent in that Jacksonville game. Granted, the defense was a little tired. It was the fourth quarter. He was able to, but he showed some wiggle, and he's got talent. So hey, if there's people out there, I know some people that drafted 3 running backs right out of the gate with Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey, and David Montgomery. I literally know a guy that has that on one of his teams. So hey, he's going to just take what he can get right now at running back. And P Ryan, if Williams ain't going to be available, that's a guy you might want to. Now I'm not. If you're in a budget league, I'm not paying 30% of my budget for P Ryan. I think Damian Williams is worth 30 to 40% of your budget, but P Ryan's more of like a 20% because again, I think he's like the Hubbard last week. He's just a fill in for a couple weeks because Joe Mixon should be back if it
Yeah.
really is a low ankle sprain.
All right. Okay. Anything else in the wire? In the wire?
Uh,
Well,
I think we're pretty good with that. I mean, you showed the name Dawson Knox, tight end is a wasteland. So for all those people that are Higby owners, be careful. Week 6 is soon to come. So all those Kyle Pitts owners, you have a bye week coming up. So you might and that's a starting tight end for a lot of people that drafted Pitts. They didn't draft a backup. So you might want to look ahead a week early to see if there's a Conklin who probably isn't out there after what he did 2 weeks ago. But again, Dawson Knox is on a lot of leagues out there, stuff like that. So for those Kyle Pitts owners, be ready. That bye week is coming real quick.
Well, let me ask you this,
real soon.
calculator: if is Kyle Pitts worth worrying over? I
No,
mean,
no, I have no worries whatsoever. Kyle Pitts, it isn't his fault. A lot of this is the Matt Ryan situation.
okay,
Again, when you take Cordell Patterson, you take those touchdowns away. Well, if touchdowns are coming, who they're going to go to? They're going to go to the people that have the larger snap share, target share, which is Kyle Pitts, which is Calvin Ridley. A lot of people were talking about Calvin Ridley getting worried about. I wouldn't worry about Calvin Ridley. He's getting the targets. Actually, being in where we live, all the Falcon games are on TV, so you're able to see. They were
wow.
targeting. They were trying to
Right.
get Kyle Pitts in the
I get
game
to
Unfortunately.
see
early.
Jacksonville.
Okay, well, that's right where you're at. So, well, you didn't have to worry about that this past week. They were on Thursday night, so everybody that had the NFL Network got to watch Jacksonville.
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm a Kyle Pitts owner, I'm not worried about it at all. And I'll tell you right now, I have him in one of my leagues.
Okay.
You invested a higher draft pick on him for a reason. You got to trust that process for the most part. And when you're talking about tight ends, you're not going to have a lot of tight ends that
True. That's
are
true.
going to be the number 2 target on a pass first team, which Kyle Pitts is currently slated as the number 2 target. It's just that Cordell Patterson is just eating all those touchdowns up. He's not able to, cash in. Kyle Pitts is fine. I have no worries whatsoever for Kyle Pitts,
Okay.
and he gets
and I
that
have
bye
one
week over with early.
and I have one more name, ladies and gentlemen.
What's that?
Like if Justin Fields, right? If just imagine yourself out in the field at night and you look up in the sky, you're gonna
What?
see a moon. You're gonna see a moon.
The Mooney.
What's in your
So
cup,
so
Mister
darn so
411?
so darn near a
It's too
moon.
early to
Keep an
start
eye
drinking.
keep an eye on Mooney at receiver.
Well,
125 yards
yeah,
receiving.
the thing about Mooney, he is tied with Justin Fields because of Justin Fields' big arm. If
Hmm.
they and Nagy has said he's going back to Dalton as soon as he's healthy. Although,
Oh wow.
again, we don't know how healthy he's going to be if the Bears keep winning. But yeah, he says he's going to go back. So then that's where Mooney's value goes down because Dalton's not known for taking the top off of defenses. That's where actually Allen Robinson. I guarantee you, Allen Robinson is hoping Andy Dalton comes back
Yeah.
because
I know.
Wow.
actually Justin Fields is more accurate on the deep throws than he is on the
Right.
intermediate routes. It's crazy.
Right.
It's really odd. So that's why Mooney. I would have to see if you think Fields is going to keep the job before I go to Mooney. But again, Mooney's not going to go against Detroit every week, and
Right.
we saw what happened to Mooney when when the Bears went up against a team that had a good pass rush like Cleveland. Fields was awful. So I think Nagy had a reason he wanted to get Fields' confidence up, but then when they start looking at the tougher defenses coming up again, I say, oh, Dalton's back. Let's go on him. Go out there and get killed a couple games. Keep
Okay.
Fields because it wasn't good when they played a team with a good pass rush.
So give them some starts, I
Yeah,
guess.
there you go. There you go.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Lacey, calculator.
Yes.
Here's Justin. He's saying hello to everybody. So what's
Hey,
up,
Justin.
Justin?
What's
Hi,
up?
Justin.
And we appreciate Justin. He's been a loyal follower, and please like, subscribe, Justin.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right, Griffin, and then we have Griffin, and let me see. I don't have my shades on, but Griffin. I'd like to say hello to Griffin, and
Hi,
please
Griffin.
don't get don't get upset if I butcher your last name, but Griffin Stegman, I believe that's how it's pronounced. He has a question for us. Rank. Oh well, yeah, I guess it's a question. Rank these players, PPR league, and you see he has Zach, he has Moss, Chenault, Mooney, Hubbard, Mitchell, Ayuk, and Hines. So
Now,
we could
Mr.
take
Four
this.
One, does Griffin want for the year or just like this upcoming week? Because Hubbard is a guy that I really have high for the next couple weeks. But once again, once McCaffrey comes back, he goes back down to the end of the list because he ain't going to get any snaps when McCaffrey's out there.
Okay.
Um,
Well, let's
so
go week to week right now.
so this week, Hubbard is actually my number one guy. So I really like
Out of that
him.
group.
Yeah, out of that group, and who cannot and who doesn't like Zach Moss and what he's doing right now? But again, Zach Moss kind of reminds me of those touchdown dependent tight ends. If you don't get a touchdown, he's not showing much value past that. But the thing is, he plays with Buffalo. He's going to get a lot of touchdowns, or they're going to get a lot of touchdowns, which he's a part of.
Yeah.
So I mean, just off the top of my head, I would go Hubbard first, Moss third.
I like
Um,
Chanel
yeah,
because he did
Oh,
purchase
yeah.
him down.
yeah, and with DJ Chark out for the year, I'm hearing, and also with Marvin Jones, he got nicked up as well because
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
my
yeah,
goodness, who's left?
yeah, Chenault. There you go. So that's why I would actually have him third on this list. I would go with Mooney after that because he's tied with Fields as long as Fields out there. I would go with Hines after that. He's a spot guy. He's going to catch, he's going to catch a lot of games, but he's hit or miss. I'm not a fan of Mitchell, but he's at the end. And Ayuk's a drop candidate right now. He's just, and then you got Trey Lance coming again. Trey Lance is a 1-2 max read type quarterbacks. Ayuk's number 3 on that team. So Ayuk's just not going to get any targets with Lance out there. So that's why I have Ayuk at the bottom. And I would even drop him in a league if you need a
Isn't
pickup.
Mitchell still injured?
Correct, but he's still the main guy if he's healthy.
Right.
Right.
That's why he's one of those guys. As long as he keeps getting declared out, keep him in that IR slot if you have one. Ayuk's not hurt, so he's just taking up a spot. So that's why I said, hey, I would
Right.
just drop Ayuk, and if there's a Mooney out there, or if there's one of those running backs we not at, or even though it's running back wide receiver, I'd get one of those running backs we talked about early on in the show, and I
Oh,
would
he
just
said
put
for the year. He
So
clarified.
what's that?
And with all that
He
said,
clarified that he's talking about for the year.
So
yeah.
well,
Now you
even for
said,
the year.
Oh, that's different.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, for the year.
So with
Oh
all
yeah.
that,
Well,
yeah. So now let's remix it for the year.
okay, for the year.
One,
Well, right now I would actually put Hubbard number 4 behind Mooney. I wouldn't have him at the top because number 4 is because even though he won't get any snap shares, we don't know if McCaffrey, if he comes back, if he gets hurt again. So that's why it's good
You
to
can't
have
drop
him.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I like Hines a lot, I mean not a lot, but he's one of those guys that he can get you bye week production
Mm-hmm.
for running back start teams, and then all of a sudden you hit the bye weeks. So that's why I like Hines. I mean, yeah, he didn't have a good week last week, but he wasn't used. But look at what he did 2 weeks ago. He was great. I like Hines. He's one of those guys. I have him in a lot of my leagues just because. Well, in PPR leagues, we do want to specify is because of his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
all right. Okay. All right. Appreciate that. And Griffin, we appreciate your task for us to fulfill for you.
Absolutely.
Please keep those comments and questions and scenarios coming. Um, Same for you, Justin. We appreciate you guys. All right, let's jump into the listener league, the one that all 3 of us are in, and
Okay.
some other people, and just give a quick listener league update from Calculator, and then we'll do our mini
Oh,
draft.
well,
Okay.
I don't actually. The only thing I know about the listener league, Mr. 411, is that you beat me.
Oh, is that what happened?
And
Oh,
so do you want to? Oh, but I do want to say the thing is with the listener league, Larry, the top guy in our league, he did go
yes.
down. He had some.
Larry went down.
Yeah,
Amazing.
with
Oh, did he?
yeah. Well, if you look at what happened
I didn't.
with his team, Lockett underperformed, and Mike Williams, one of his guys that have been, carrying him the whole time, let him down. Joe
Yeah.
Mixon is hurt, although Joe Mixon didn't do that bad. Aaron Jones didn't do that well. So Larry had a lot of underperformers that had been performing, pretty admirably. But yes, as you can see here, we see Lacey
Yeah.
getting just absolutely demolished by her son.
By myself.
So that
cruel.
that's not
just
good.
No respect at all.
So now we know why Lacey's living in a different house because they won't have to face her son this week.
No. I can't take it.
Oh man,
I mean, he just killed me. And you know what? I told him. I said, "You should probably pick up Dawson."
She's giving out advice.
Oh,
let's just look at the matchup of here and just look at those. Oh my, Dawson Knox, 20 points. Chase Edmonds, 20 points. Terry, 30 points. Russell Wilson had his best game of the year.
Oh my goodness.
Lacey, you didn't have a shot with that. Even Derrick Henry.
I did not have a good day.
Yeah. So,
but he's the only one I don't really mind losing to. Even my bench stuff.
Yeah. And the talented Mr. Ridley, he's our only undefeated team now. He had an impressive performance against the talented the captain Cosmos. CeeDee Lamb has really hurt the captain lately.
Wait a minute. Okay. I hope Robert is watching because I see that Larry played Stone Cold.
Yes.
Last week, Fat Cats played Lacey. I was like, wait a minute. I'm playing myself.
Yeah, and when he played Mr. 411, he started off as the Dot. So he likes to play like these old names. But yeah,
you know how you have a match.
Interesting.
You know, you have a maximum number of drop ads. We're gonna have to give a maximum number of name changes throughout the season.
Well, then that would be like directed toward you also. So.
But now I do want to let our listeners know: be careful, because if you change it to something Yahoo does not approve of, they will lock your team and name yourself the Ducks as Robert, aka the Dot, aka Stone Cold, aka. Whatever his name is, Mr. Washington found out all of a sudden. We saw. I said, because I remember when that happened. I said, Robert. I said, why'd you? I said, what's the deal with the Ducks? He said, Yahoo changed his name to the Ducks and locked them. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah,
because Robert's going to give you a name, buddy.
Yeah. Do not do advertisements on Yahoo, otherwise they will lock your name, lock you down.
Absolutely. All right. Okay, we have another loyal listener with a task for us. So I'm gonna put it out here.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll jump into our mini draft.
Okay.
All right. Let's see if you all can see across the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's your opinion, guys, on Amari and Patterson for Diggs?
Well, you did get 2 starters. However, Diggs was one of the top air yard guys in the league. So he's going to be able to produce. So 200 points. Hey, I've only seen that one other time.
You know it.
Yeah, I've only seen that one other time. Yeah, when you have Tyreek and Eckler, that's over 70 points between 2 players.
Terry McLaurin is. I'm thinking it's Terry.
Yes.
And the Bills kicker and defense.
Oh my goodness, the Bills kicker almost had 20 points by himself, and the Buffalo defense had almost 20 points.
Great job.
That's a $1 million maker on daily fantasy.
Yeah,
that is good
type
stuff.
of lineup in there.
You know what Killer PVP just did.
Points.
Yeah.
Wow. That is amazing.
Killer hit the jackpot. My
Yes,
goodness.
Mhm.
that is great.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So do yes.
If somebody had that in my league, any of
All
my
right.
leagues, I would have
So
been the one playing them. So
Mhm.
that is that's pretty
all
spectacular,
right.
though.
Well,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that's amazing there. I'm glad Killer wasn't in our league this week.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Okay. Time
Oh, it's mini draft
for the
Mini
time.
mini
draft.
draft.
Oh, yeah. See,
All right.
that's, I haven't had a chance to look this week.
Pull it
Sorry,
up, Mister
I'm
411.
distracted.
Oh, you
Go Jets,
ready?
go Giants. Did I say that already? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. All right.
Calculator,
So there's the
you're killing
standings.
it.
Hey, I don't know what it is. I keep getting the third pick, but it's turning out good, you know.
It's working.
So, but hey, hey, if
Great job.
y'all keep giving me the
Mahomes
third
and Henry
pick,
by themselves beat me. Oh.
yeah, as you can see, all our tight ends, none of us had Dawson Knox.
No.
you know so they all did, we all canceled each other out. The main difference in this one was Derrick Henry doing what he did, and of course Mahomes doing what he
Derrick
did,
Henry.
and
Well,
so
Kamara, I think what's his name? Jason Tatum happened to him.
oh yeah, Taysom
What is
Hill.
that? That's
Yeah,
your
Jason,
that's your team calculator. What's going on
I
there?
but that's well they
That came
can't
out of nowhere.
well they can't give Kamara all the touches. I mean, he had over 25 touches, which is a career high for
Really?
Kamara. So they although the thing is, he had all of them carries, not one pass to Kamara, which is very odd. He's already in line for a season low, career low in
Yeah.
passes. So I don't know. Yeah, Peyton's going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one and try and get
Mhm.
Kamara out in space,
Yeah.
and stop wasting them in between the tackles. That ain't going to do you no good.
No. I
oh
didn't
yeah.
see any of that game. Did you?
No, it wasn't on here.
Okay, it wasn't
So
on
I
there.
only saw bits and pieces from the Red Zone channel.
Oh.
So but what I did see is I saw Saquon Barkley, that wheel route that he went against my Saints, and then I saw Saquon Barkley in overtime running up the middle for a touchdown and just took my heart out my chest. So
And,
yeah, so I
and
did
Saquon
see
this and
bits. Yeah,
Saquon
I
this and
did see
Saquon
enough.
that and Saquon this and Saquon that.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, let's not forget this. This is just for everybody. Keep in mind, the Jets are playing Atlanta in London
Yep.
on
9:30
Sunday
kickoff time.
morning.
At
That game
9:30.
starts at
9:30
9:30 a.m.
a.m. Eastern Standard.
A.m.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Eastern time. That's right. So don't sleep on that one, because if you have any Jets or Falcons, you need to get them in your lineup the night before if you sleep late.
Yep.
And if you have any Jets or Falcons, you might be in trouble.
Yeah. All right,
Well,
Mr.
that's
But
411, are you ready for me
fair.
to
And yeah,
spin the wheel for this week's mini draft?
okay.
it is
Or should I
time to
just put me third now and just forget about the rest of it?
real quick, we're going to spin the wheel 3 times. The first
Okay.
time means that individual will have the third pick, and then the second pick, and then whatever name is left will get the first pick. We will pick in a snake format, and you can select any position you want.
Oh,
So here we
Mhm.
go.
Mr. 411.
What?
What
As
just
I
Hey.
said,
happened?
if your name comes up, you will get the first pick. No, I'm just playing. All right, Mr.
Okay.
Warren's picking third.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So we'll remove it and go again.
And while it's spinning, ladies and gentlemen, we use our PPR standard system. So basically, the rules that we're using in our listener league, the settings.
Oh, so I actually have a second pick.
All
So,
right, you moved up, calculator.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's see who gets the first pick.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Lacey Dawson has the first pick.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow. Yay. Awesome. Let's see.
Okay. So Lacey, who are you going with your first pick?
You know, I didn't have a chance to really check. I've been a little distracted today. But
Okay, I pick for you.
no. It's okay.
She hadn't been that distracted.
I didn't suddenly, grab a case of the stupids. So it's like I'm torn between two teams. I'm going to go with Kyler Murray.
Ooh, okay.
Quarterback.
He's been on fire.
All
I
right.
mean,
Well, and I'm
not just that. Yeah, it's like they're playing Seattle. Come on, you know.
so since he did me so good last week, and I don't want because I know Mr. 411 is going to pick him with 2 picks ahead of me. I'm going to go with what is now the top player in fantasy on the board at the running back position with all these injuries. I'm going with Derrick Henry at running
Thank you,
back.
calculator.
So,
Thank-
and he's going
All
against
right.
Jacksonville this week. So,
Oh man,
Wait a
very
minute.
good pick.
I need to back pick. Oh
So,
no.
so that's 30 carries and 300 yards rushing this week. Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good. All right.
What does it say? Got to be more careful. Just a
Wow.
little bit. It's all right.
All right.
got 2 picks,
Okay,
Mr. 411.
So I get to pick back to back. All right,
yeah.
this is gonna be interesting here. All right. Well, never
Okay.
been
It's
in this
like
position before. All right.
what's that?
I haven't been in this position before. The back to backs.
Oh, you haven't had that? Oh.
All
Yeah,
right. Well,
it could be a mixed blessing.
yeah, it's a little tricky. All right. Well, with it being Monday night, I'm gonna take Lamar Jackson against the Colts
Okay.
for a little Monday night suspense.
You said Lamar Jackson
Yes.
against Indy? Okay. Okay, so we got QB running back, QB.
And I'll move it over here for people
Mhm.
to see.
Okay, so I pick again, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley.
Oh no. I just realized something. I was looking at the wrong screen. I was like, Arizona plays Seattle, but that's not true.
Yeah.
And Arizona's playing San Francisco. Hold
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
still good for you.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah.
say
Well, since I don't need quarterback, that'll be my last pick. So now, well, I got to go with the tight end and Kelsey
of
again.
course.
If y'all gonna keep leaving them, to me. Before last week he was scoring 6 more points per game to the next tight end on the board. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna definitely go with the number 1 tier guy
Of
in
course.
Kelsey.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Damn it. I want to change my, but I can't. I know. It's all right. I have my mind on another one, and it's like that's the one I should have taken. Okay, so um, I'm next,
Yes, you
and
got back to back.
okay. I want to take this guy, but I can't. So Saquon, ooh, Eckler, no, he's going up against Cleveland, can't do it. Zeke against the Giants. I think I'll do that one. I'll take Zeke.
Okay.
Zeke versus Saquon. That should be good. It should be a good game.
Now,
So what you
I
go
do want
again?
to bring I do want to bring to your attention just for future purposes. I had a running back, and 411 had a running back. So you could have had Ezekiel Elliott with your last pick because we couldn't have picked running backs
Okay.
for future reference.
Huh?
That's for future
Yeah,
reference.
for future reference.
Don't I pick
Yep.
again?
Yes, you pick again.
This is my last pick anyway, right?
No, we got 2 more picks. You still have a tight end and a wide receiver you need.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, it's back to me.
Wide receiver and a tight end, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
you
Well,
need.
you already got Kelsey.
I got Kelsey.
Okay. Da, 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 da.
So you know 411's getting a tight end because he has to on his next one of his next picks.
Yeah, but there's nobody I'm really crazy about.
Okay. Well, yeah, because if you have two tight ends in mind, you can just get the one that falls to you with your last pick.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, I don't know if DJ Moore is for real. It's this is
Yeah,
harder than
because wide receiver would be the best pick because I have to take one and 411. Well, me and 411 have to take one on our next pick. So this way you get the first wide receiver off the board in this draft.
okay. I don't know why I wouldn't take Cooper Cup. So I will take him.
Okay.
Hmm.
And I'm going to go with Devontae Adams. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to show him a little more love after he gave all those touchdowns to Cobb last week. He's going to say, Devontae, you're still my guy.
I gotta gotta prove it. Okay.
That's right.
You
Devontae's
know.
going to say, show me some love.
Oh my goodness.
All right, 411, you got back to back.
Back to back. Okay. Well, now it gets ugly. Okay.
Who'd you take, Coop?
I took Devontae Adams.
Devontae.
Lacey, it's on the screen if you want to be able to follow that way.
Okay.
401 put it up on the screen for us.
411 is next.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the Chiefs are not really lighting it up on the defensive end, so I'm gonna go play with that game a little bit. I think this week Diggs. I think Diggs is actually going to have a good game this weekend, so I'll go Diggs at receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at quarterback.
Yeah.
I should have taken Josh Allen. Ah. Okay, whose turn is it now?
It's still 4-1. It's his last pick. He needs a tight end.
Oh, I need a tight end. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh man, I should stay with the same team.
Go for the
Just
stack.
just
Hey.
hedge my bets. Just
There you go.
hedge it. One way or other, I get something.
Yeah, but then if Moss runs in a touchdown, you get nothing.
Yeah, that's
Part of the negative correlation we like to talk about sometimes.
yeah, it's tough. This is a tough one here. I'm in a box now because I wanted Adams, and somebody picked Adams ahead of me. So
Yeah, I knew you were going to get wide receivers. I said I had to get my wide receiver now because I knew I could get my
yeah.
quarterback at the end, get the guy I want.
Is Cordell Patterson considered tight end in this league?
No, he's not. I don't see him tight end in any leagues.
Okay.
Not
All
even
right.
Yahoo.
Well,
Not even your Yahoo league for 1-1.
all right. All right. Well, this is what I'm gonna do. Is Higbee healthy? Can I ask that? Can I throw out a helpline on that?
He is questionable, but he is expected to play. He had a limited practice on Monday.
All right. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and take Higbee.
Who?
Tyler Higbee.
Oh, Higby. Okay.
And I was going to pick Mahomes, but I actually like the Bills defense a little bit more than I like the Chiefs defense. And I got to set off Mr. 4-1 a little bit in case he tries to run away. So I'm going to take Josh Allen as my quarterback.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
But in all fairness, if Lacey would have picked Josh Allen, I would have went with Mahomes in this spot. So I had my two quarterbacks. I was going to get one of those quarterbacks, even if I had to use an early pick on him. Like if you'd have taken Josh Allen with your first pick, I was picking Mahomes with my next pick, so I could ensure one of those quarterbacks. And what there is now the highest over under for the year now in the Buffalo Kansas City game. I believe it's 56. And they said this one could be actually get up to 58 and even 60 by kickoff.
Well, it does feel like an old AFL shootout.
Yeah, hey, you ain't a kid. Back in yeah,
way back in the days
mm-hmm.
before we even knew what a football was. But yeah, it feels like it's going to be one of those shootout games.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, Lacey, you got one more pick.
Okay, I'm looking it over. I'm like, thinking either Mark Andrews. I don't trust Waller against Chicago. I mean, they're not who they were, but they're still pretty decent. I really want to take Dawson Knox, and I think I will.
Dawson Knox.
All right, so everybody's in on this game in
Oh yeah,
some
I mean,
Oh
manner.
I'm
yeah.
not of it.
Well, like I said, the highest over under in the year so far.
You
Even
can't
Vegas,
really like take
even
one of their
Vegas.
running backs because you never know who's going to get the love.
That's right. Even Vegas is on uh, this weekend.
Okay.
All right, I got it
All
down for 1-1.
right,
So we're locked
there
in.
it is.
It is locked in.
Okay.
That's it. All right, that's the end of our mini draft.
All
We'll
right.
see how it
Sounds
pans out
good.
for next week.
All right.
Absolutely.
That steak dinner is on the line. All
Oh
right, we
yes.
have about
Yeah, we got
we have
some ground.
about
I got some ground to make up, but
Yeah.
I'm not
Current.
worried. It's
If you look
early.
at the current standings, I have 3 wins. 4-1 has 1 win, and Lacey,
I
you
have
you you
0.
you'll get your chance.
I will.
So
yep. Could be this week.
Hopefully this week.
All right. All right, before we get out of here,
All right.
here's another
Sounds good.
comment out here. All right, there it is. There's a scenario for you all to tackle right there.
Okay. Trade
Bottom of the
CD,
screen.
Dalvin Cook, and Damon Harris. Retire Lockett, Derrick Henry,
Well,
and
Daryl Henderson. Yeah, and I don't see how you're really improving your team on this because
Yeah.
you're trading player for player. I mean, Dalvin Cook is still a phenomenal player when he gets the touches. Damian Harris has had just some rough matchups lately. And did you know he actually led in pass routes from the running back position in New England?
Yeah.
And Daryl Henderson, he's still nicked up. Yes, King Henry be a great guy to have. But I think CD's going to bounce back. So I mean, I think CD's better than Lockett. I think Dalvin Cook actually at this time doesn't, but I would put him even with King Henry. And I personally, I like Damian Harris over Daryl Henderson because of the rib injury. And yes, I know Cook has some injury concerns, but I wouldn't do that trade. I wouldn't do that. I would take my chances with CD Cook. This has a lot of recency bias looking at it, meaning these guys that he's wanting to trade away didn't do good this past week, but
Yeah.
for over the whole year, I think they'll bounce back. And I'm a Damian Harris fan, really, especially after I saw the him leading with James White out, leading the running backs, because this was the first game without James White. He actually led, and a lot of people say, well, what about JJ Taylor? Well, JJ Taylor fumbled. So we know what Belichick does to fumblers. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can get
So
ugly.
would you say yay or nay to that?
No, I would not. I would keep CD and Cook and Harris.
Now, see, I would accept the trade because of Cook, because he can't seem to stay healthy. I don't want to have to worry. Like Derrick Henry, you can start him.
Okay. But you're saying if there's no health concern, you wouldn't do the trade.
If there's no health concerns, then it's pretty equal to me. But because of the health concern, I would accept Derrick Henry. I would rather have Derrick Henry to start every week over Dalvin Cook because he's already injured. We're only in week 4.
Well, Daryl Henderson's injured too.
But I wouldn't plan to start Daryl Henderson. I would be willing to get Derrick Henry.
So you're saying you just want the best player in the trade overall
in that trade.
Right, because
that Henry for Cook, basically.
As long as I have a better secondary running back than Henderson, I'm good to go.
See, and the reason I wouldn't do the trade is, yes, Henry is the best player now in that trade, but everybody drafted Dalvin Cook ahead of him in the preseason for a reason.
Right.
So I mean, so if I'm getting I think yes, but I'm thinking CD's better than Lockett. At least that's the way I'm looking at it, and I think Damian Harris is better than Daryl Henderson. So I'm getting the 2 better players, even though, I'm giving up 2 better players just at an increase in Henry. If Henry does wind up being better than Dalvin Cook for the year. So I wouldn't do the trade, but it looks like Lacey would.
I would. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I would just rather have the security of knowing who I'm starting all the time instead of having to wonder about it. Because if you don't have Alexander Madison, then you're in trouble.
Hey, Mr. 41, I got to drop off, okay?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we know that, calculator. We appreciate
you. That's right. You get that point.
We're going to close this out in just a moment. But
Okay.
Kirk Cousins here or Trey Lance as your number two. My personal opinion, I'll go Trey Lance for the upside. And again, this is my number two slot. So, and
And you
you
got
Yeah,
never know with
because
Cousins.
because Trey Lance is a wait and see guy, and you
Yeah.
got a starter in Stafford already. So now you can just wait and see what Trey Lance does. You don't have to start him.
no.
So
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah,
Stafford's bye
All
is
right.
until week 11, so you got a
yeah.
good
So you have
you
time.
got some time. Yeah.
All right, calculator. We're gonna get our sponsor in the
All right.
Okay.
meantime,
All
All
right.
right.
we'll
Well,
see you later, calculator.
I will see you guys later.
Okay.
Enjoyed it.
See you. See you, calculator.
See ya.
All
Okay.
right, here's our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Latanya with Healthy Spa Mobile. I'm a licensed massage therapist and owner. I've been practicing 18 years. If you're in need of any stress relief, tension, muscle, body aches, or just want to relax, you need to get yourself a massage. And please come check me out again at Heavenly Spa Mobile. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue. And I can be reached at 478-747-9231. Or you may go online to healthyspa-mobile.com. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Great job.
Yeah, great job. And as you can
I
see in the
can't wait to get
background,
back so I can go get one of those massages. I need some tension release.
yeah, especially after a season like what we're going through. But as you can see there, Heavenly Spa Mobile, please support her, and she's a major supporter of the 401 Sports World Show Fantasy Edition. So we
Okay.
thank Heavenly Spa,
Yes. Thank
and
you.
we thank everybody for listening, and
All
we
right.
want
Yeah.
you to do one more thing for us. Guess what that is, Lacey?
Uh, of course. Of course.
Yes,
Go
yes.
Yankees. Let's
All
do
right,
this.
go Yankees. All right, Lacey, as always, great show. Good
You
luck
are.
on good luck with your Yankees tonight. You know I'm a Mets fan, so I'm going for the Red Sox.
I know.
But
It's
good luck
okay.
to
I
your
don't hold it
Yankees.
against
Yes,
you.
it feels
Okay.
mutual.
Okay.
All right, for Lacey, I am Mr. 401. We
All
thank
right.
everybody for listening. Please
See you
hit that
next
like,
week.
please hit that subscribe, and we will see you all down the
Next.
line.
All right.